In our last episode, we wandered our way through the amazing and colorful alleys of Guanajuato. This time around, we visit the incredible historic city in Mexico's central highlands of San Miguel de Allende. Well, we made it to San Miguel de Allende. This is another town up in the Mexican highlands. We're about 6,000 feet of elevation. It's dry, it's sunny, and it's incredible! It's another amazing little town. Gonna be here for a few days, but I can tell you it's a whole lot different than Guanajuato, where we just came from, but sort of similar. It's bright and vivid and colorful, and it's got amazing doors. I love old doors. So this town, it's a little more hip, a little more trendy, high fashion, tons of art and music, and in a number of travel publications, this place has been voted the #1 travel destination in the world. In the world! It's hard to beat that. So we're gonna see what this place is all about. Got a few days, and then we're heading back to the boat. And instantly, it was obvious we found ourselves in another pretty amazing place. The other thing I can tell you about this town that's different than the last is it's got sidewalks. Real sidewalks. It's not a common sight in Mexico. And it's got a wide street you can drive on. Pretty cool. With those wide sidewalks, we were gonna cover a whole lot of ground.
Big sidewalks.
San Miguel de Allende is home to roughly 150,000 people, and it's smack dab in the center of Mexico's central highlands. And beyond just being a bright, colorful place with a whole lot of amazing doors, this town has played a central role in a whole lot of Mexico's important history. From the pre-colonial period where the indigenous people resisted Spain's advance, to the height of the region's mining boom when this town had a larger population than both Boston and New York, all the way up to the arts and cultural center that it is today. And smack dab, right in the middle of this amazing town, is the parish of the Church of San Miguel. This enormous and awe-inspiring building was originally built in the 17th century. Designed by a self-taught indigenous architect and bricklayer, this thing is quite a sight to see. And because this thing stands high above every other building in town, it's visible from miles and miles around. But did I mention the doors? It's estimated that in San Miguel de Allende's Central Historic District, there's over 2,000 old doors leading to old courtyards that still retain their original centuries-old architecture. And it probably goes without saying that in this tourist town, there's lots of shopping. Look at all this stuff.
Yeah. Flowers.
And just like in most Mexican towns, once the sun starts to go down, that's when things really come alive. And here, that not only means a bunch of street food, it also means mariachi music in the town square. San Miguel de Allende, it doesn't really matter if you opt for some street food or one of the multitude of restaurants around. Here, eating is art. And here at the Colmillo restaurant, that art comes in the form of a big, juicy burger. And that burger is created with tender, loving care from Andres. And yes, he's awesome. Andres not only has a special blend of special cuts of meat for his pretty special burgers, he makes everything in-house and from scratch. From his phenomenal little spider fries to the sauces that those things will get dipped in, it's all made with tender, loving care, and it's something you can taste in the end. And what all that tender, loving care builds is what could be the most perfect and incredible burger in the world. But not to be outdone by dinner, breakfast, it put up a pretty good fight as well. And this little hole in the wall, it created the best breakfast I think I've ever had. Starting with a rich, delicious, and bitter cup of Turkish coffee, to the freshly baked, whole grain, dense bread, this place made an Eggs Benedict that truly was a work of art. I may even go so far as to say this work of art was a masterpiece. Something so pretty it maybe shouldn't even have been eaten. But that would be silly. Because as good as this looked, it tasted even better. But after an amazing breakfast, it was time to divide and conquer. Brenda was off to find herself a haircut, and I was off to find myself lost.
So if you've watched these videos for a while now, you can probably tell we're really only good at about two things. Actually, Brenda's good at a lot of stuff because she's awesome. She's good at kung fu fighting. She can crack open coconuts, and she's good at putting up with me. But me, I've kind of only mastered two things. One of them is wandering aimlessly, and the second, it's eating. I'm pretty good at eating. And actually for me, coming to a new place, doesn't matter where it is, those are my two favorite things to do. I don't need a plan, I don't need an agenda, I just want to get there and roam. And a place like this, it's amazing for just roaming and eating. So at the moment, I'm actually trying to get to the very top of the city for a view of the whole thing. It's supposed to be a good park up there, but I'm a bit lost, and that's okay, because I'm good at that. And that's sort of the point. This is a good place to be lost, because it's awesome. I mean, just look at these doors.
incredible. Getting lost in San Miguel de Allende, it'll help you find a whole lot of amazing doors, some pretty interesting history, and a whole lot of amazing beauty. And with a little bit of luck, you may just find yourself at the very top with a pretty great view of the city.
Hi, Brenda.
Hi.
Look at your new haircut.
Even with all there is to see and do in San Miguel de Allende, sometimes wandering alone won't take you where you need to go. Sometimes, just sometimes, we gotta look for a little help from good old Google.
Trying to find something to do. Looking for music. Live music.
And with that little bit of help, we stumbled our way into one of the most passionate and intimate live music performances we've seen in a long, long time.
Lo que a mí me duele, lo que a mí me duele, nadie sabe lo que a mí me duele, lo que a mí me duele, lo que a mí me duele.
And we're off.
It's the end of our vacation from our vacation. Short-lived.
Well, that's the end of our vacation from our vacation. We're back to our rough life on the boat. But before we finish up this episode and call it a wrap, there's a couple of quick things I want to say. First of all, Mexico's awesome. It's a whole lot more than just a sandy beach and some tacos and some margaritas. There's a ton of interesting art, history, culture, architecture, great food, and incredibly friendly people. If you're a traveler and want to see some cool stuff, come to Mexico, leave the beach behind for a few days. I don't think you can go wrong. It's great. But beyond that, tomorrow we're setting sail from here in La Cruz. We're going to start working our way north up into the Sea of Cortez, which means our highly sporadic internet and cell phone coverage that we have now, it's going to be even more sporadic. We'll have little bits of coverage here and there. But what that means for these videos is that, well, I'll upload them when I can, but we're realistically not going to have a whole lot of access to internet for a little while. So, if you want to know when these videos are coming out, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, follow us on Facebook, because that'll be realistically where we'll post the most updates when we have access to cell coverage. And that's kind of it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
Jackass.
Hi, buddy.